Good afternoon, traders. It's Simon at Kairos Capital Markets with the weekly review of Aussie dollar, pound yen, euro dollar, and Bitcoin. So this week we start again on the US dollar. As you see, I've got both my charts up here, the weekly and the monthly, weekly and daily, sorry. And the reason why I want to show you this is, firstly, this weekly, the bottom chart on the weekly here, you have this upward sloping trend line, which at the moment, as you can see here, I want to show the strength of this. It's a valid 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touch trend line. What you can see here, we've got this like little squeeze of a triangle that could be forming on the weekly chart, where the wicks are just testing this trend line. But what you do actually have on the daily is what I've outlined now is this little zone here. So I've outlined this zone purely because we've got two tops and two bottoms at key levels. And what I'd expect now is while the dollar decides what it wants to do, we're going to range in this zone for a little bit. So don't be surprised for a few ranges up either way. Now, for me personally, you're going to need to see a break up to the upside with volume or break down to a downside volume to decide what way this goes next. If it breaks to the upside, okay, we're not in a bull trend because we have this downward sloping trend line in the way as well. So before we do break out this zone, it would be nice to see what actually happens. But if we break to the downside though, guys, so break below 11,520, which is this level here, we break below that, we're in a very, very strong bear trend we are. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for this week at the moment. So I just feel that we're just going to just in this range, this little box range here. So as the dollar now looks like it may decrease down in value a little bit, you'll find other dollar pairs actually will take advantage of that. So let's go down to Aussie dollar to start with and see what we've got. So at the moment, Aussie dollar, we've got we are at 775, which is a key level over the last couple of years actually. And so I would not be surprised to see a move to the upside. I don't know whether we'll touch 80 now. It looks as though we didn't want to touch 80. We have moved away from it quite hard there. But obviously here the rejection of 775 has been quite strong so far. So I'll be looking for today and tomorrow for maybe some buy opportunities depending what's actually happening on patterns on the lower time frames there. With the weekly chart as well, it doesn't really give us too much confidence factors there for a long position, for long term anyway, because we are in the middle of this channel, so I wouldn't take a long trade here right away. We've got the weekly 50 EMA on your side, but it has been chopping through this kind of pattern here, so it doesn't really mean much. No, so the 775 is far more key than anything else in this situation. So we'll just keep an eye on that, we will, for a bit. Euro dollar is showing very, very similar to the DXY, funny enough. So we've got this like little mini triangle forming we have. Just going to move this little red alert out the way for ourselves. There we are. The daily chart has shown us, it has put a lower low in, but I don't believe that's actually a proper lower low. I think it's just a little breakout of maybe a zone here as well. Exactly the same as the US dollar index chart. So don't be surprised if you see another move back up to 125. Just purely because it's not having a little double top then just break down massively. It needs to have confirmation of a trend change, and like I said, this trend change will come in the form of a breaking of this upward sloping blue trend line. So when that breaks to the downside, we're in a bull market, we're in a dollar bull market or a euro bear market. If we do break to the upside, just note all these trend lines here and key level 125. We break above up to 126. You're looking at a euro bull market and a dollar bear market. Fundamentally, that doesn't make much sense right now, but you never know what's going to happen in the future. So it's always just sit around and see what happens. Pound yen. Now, pound yen, I expected a pullback to the daily 50 or the top of the 152 area. And we never got it. We carried on going down. And my problem now with this trade is this, is if you take it long now, the candles look nice, don't get me wrong, they're nice little pretty candles, but there's no real basis there, there's no key level as such. So for me personally, just zoom out there to show you what it's like, there's nothing here at all at this level, so I'm not interested in taking a long. Likewise though, I'm not interested in taking a short either, because this trend has been on for like last month, and it took, to give you an example, 3 months to move from 147 up to 156. And took 1 month to break down. So for me personally, I'm not interested in trading it either way. What I will highlight though is some key areas here. So the daily 50 is definitely going to be a key area, although we have chopped in that every now and again. What I do like though is the Fibonacci level. 618 is the key level of 152, so that's a beautiful Fibonacci level to take a trade off of. So if it does pull back up to 152, that would put in a lower high around this area here, which would be very interesting, because you could then effectively say you have a head and shoulder pattern. You got the move up here to your left shoulder, pull down here, there's your head, you break down and then come back up to make a right shoulder here. So you could be seeing a head and shoulder pattern forming on the daily time frame, but obviously we have to wait and see what happens at the moment. But I'd happily take a trade off 152. It's the highest confidence factor trade of there, but I don't see how you'll get there this week. It'll most likely be next week, so we're looking the middle of March for that one. Now Bitcoin. Now Bitcoin's a strange one here again. I see the Tower of Two Halves where different time frames were saying different things. I expect to pull back down to 6850. It never happened, and it carried on going bullish again. But what I want you to understand is this: is it went bullish. This bullish engulfing candle. Look at the volume here. The volume's tiny. There's no volume at all, guys. There's nothing. If I zoom out there for you, there is just no volume. It's just petering down. If you zoom out properly, you can see this volume is so low. It's incredibly low there. So this bullish engulfing candle doesn't add up properly to what the chart is saying. So I'll be wary of what's going to happen here. And obviously, if you look at the weekly chart here as well, you can see this trend line got broken with very little volume. Huge volume here to knock it back down every time, but then nothing to break above again. That's a very, very strange thing to see. So just be careful. For me personally, if I know when I think it'll turn bullish, my view when it turns bullish would always be the same: a break above this 13,100 level, where these candles here test with higher volume. I expect now a higher volume to break out to the upside. That's when I expect the chart to turn bullish. I'm not 100% happy with the way the volume's just really dropped off to nothing here, and we'll just wait along the next week to see what really happens. Okay guys, thank you very much, and speak to you soon.